Welcome all to Off the Cuff with Namrita. Hope you are having a wonderful December and this year is coming to an end. So I'm sure you're busy with a lot of festivities. And today I have a very special guest here with me, and I'll start with a quote by a very famous chef, Anthony Bourdain. I'm sure a lot of people have heard about him. He said, I think food, culture, people, and landscape are all absolutely inseparable. And I believe so too. We will talk about food, hospitality, and culture today. And I have a chef par excellence here with me. In a career spanning over 25 years, Jiten Singh has extensively worked in Mediterranean, French, and Indian kitchens. His innate passion lies in creating out of the box menus and concepts. Jiten's previous assignments at Moti Mahal, Baazi, and Bhatti gave him the platform to handle three legendary Indian restaurants in New York. He has been an independent chef consultant and conceptualized more than 13 hotels and restaurants. Currently, he is the owner of a Food Truck Rapchick Rooster. We'll talk about that. Serving in Sunnyvale for now. So, Jiten, my pleasure to have you on Off the Cuff.
Likewise, and I'm delighted to be here, and I would like to say you thanks from the bottom of my heart for having me here.
No, it's my pleasure, and I can vouch for his food, listeners. I've eaten, his delicacies, and they are just out of this. Very, very different, very flavorful, very fresh. So, Jiten, tell me, you've been in hospitality and food business for a long time, seen every aspect of, Epicureanism, I'll say.
Right.
So, tell me when your love affair with food started.
So it started, way back in 90s. I was
Okay.
very intrigued by the cooking when my mother used to cook.
Okay.
And I think that most of the chefs, if you ask them, they have always got inspired by their mother, or somebody in their family who they saw in their growing years, saw them cooking, be it their nannies, be it their daddies, be it their mothers.
Acha.
So there is always a lady in their house who have always been very intrigued by and they have shown interest to get into the hospitality. So that's how mine also started, right? When I was very young, I think that maybe at the age of 14 or 15. So whenever there used to be a special occasion in our house, like be it my parents wedding anniversary, or some birthday, I started cooking small meals, right? Giving my mother a small
What age
help.
were you?
I think that I was 14 or 15.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Yeah. And
So-
which area in India? Where do you come from? Which
In
state?
Delhi.
Oh, Delhi. So
Yeah.
Delhi wale.
Yeah,
Okay.
so Delhi wale.
Okay.
Yeah. So I started giving my mother a helping hand. Then I got a little more intrigued. When I got a lot more inclined, I always wanted to get into hospitality. From that very age.
Okay.
So as soon as I finished my schooling, I found a job myself in Pizza Hut.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So at that time, I must tell you that time, working in a Pizza Hut used to be like a fad, right?
Okay.
Yeah, because Pizza Hut was very new. It was MNC, right? And people were getting into it. So I just gave a shot, right? I was given a big questionnaire of about 90 questions, right? Which I had to answer there and there.
Okay.
And then that questionnaire, right? In that very questionnaire, your 75% answers should be correct.
Okay.
So yeah, luckily I got the job, and then from there the journey started. Honestly, it was a story. It was an even happened back in '98.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, so I was very young. Just came out of school, and I got into that job, and then later, right? The journey started, and I keep switching to different companies, different. I was kept working and looking for different prospects, right? Such as working with better chefs, better companies. Yeah.
I know it shows your resume. You've worked with some prestigious places. That's amazing. And a great way to start, I guess. And you started straight away in the kitchen.
I started straight away.
Yeah, usually, I've seen, people get into hospitality, work in the hotels, and then they try to get into. That's what many what I've seen.
No, but I must tell you that even at the time when I started working in Pizza Hut, a lot of people, they didn't go to the hotel management colleges, right? Hotel management colleges, yes, they were getting famous, right, around that time.
Okay.
But people, who were 12th passed, right, or who were high school passed, they used to take up the apprenticeship courses, right, in different hotels, right? It was started. It was started by the ITDC at that time. So, but I was not quite, inclined towards the apprenticeship or FCI. So I straight away got into the Pizza Hut, where I was getting better money.
Yeah, absolutely. So, way to go, I'll say. And anybody interested in being a chef, start where Jiten, start small and then go way up, and because that's where your passion will get more utilized, and you'll learn more, I'll say.
That's true.
And Jiten, like we all know that Indian culture revolves around food and family. It's the essential part of every aspect of our life,
Right.
And whenever I've talked to you, I've seen that your knowledge about region and food and where it comes from is immense. I've not seen that kind of a knowledge in anyone I've talked to. So, can you tell us a little bit about Indian food? It's not as simple as North and South Indian food, and especially for people living here in the Bay Area. Can you just summarize it a little bit?
So I would put it this way that I'm still a student, right? When it comes to learning the cultures, the food, and more deep roots about Indian culture.
Okay.
I'm still a student, right? I think that I know only about 5-10%. Yeah, it's very vast. Yeah. So if we talk about the food and the culture of India, I think that it's quite diverse. It's quite diverse beyond the imagination that we know it.
Okay.
Right. Like for that matter, right? I mean, we know only about South and North, right? Yeah, South and North. So North, maybe, if we go towards North, right? The prominence of the different cuisine from the North, West, and North, you will find in Delhi, right? Because that's a kind of it's a migrants hub where people from different communities, different regions, they came, they got settled, and that's how the food became a culture, right, in Delhi. So if you go towards Jama Masjid, you will see a lot of Mughlai food, right? You will see nahari, biryani. You will see kormas, right, being served there, which is more a food which came through the invasion, right? If we go towards more up, right, north, we will see a lot more diversification in what I know is that three places that you will see the diversification. One is UP, which is not UP per se, because that comes in east, right? But I would say more towards the up north hills, like Himachal, right? It has its own cuisine, but less explored.
Very less explored. Even I didn't know much because living in Shimla. Because Shimla mein pahadi food kam milta tha. You have to go to the rural regions.
Yeah, such as if I take a very basic reference of that what do you call it's a steam thing.
Siddu, yes.
Right? Siddu. So most of the people who live in the areas of Himachal, like Shimla, Chel, they don't even know what Siddu is, right? But the more you start moving towards the rural area, you'll find more prominence in the cuisine and the food, such as Siddu. I mean, when I went to Himachal for the first time, somebody suggested me, or put a plate before me of Siddu with bichu butti ki chutney.
Bichu butti, yes,
right? So even people in Himachal do not know in those areas that you just mentioned that what is bichu butti.
Very true, and it's a plant that it stings when
it stings you.
And I had bichu butti ki chai. And it was lovely. I'd say, recently when I went to Shimla. And like you're saying, it, I think food culture started from ancient. I don't know what are 5,000 years, and
that's true.
Yeah, so
That's
Vedic culture se leke फिर Mughals aaye, and then I think there's an influence of Chinese, Persian, Mongolian also.
So I would like to quote, Javed Akhtar here.
Okay.
He once said in one of the summits that the language always become rich, right?
Yes.
As soon as it starts getting old, as soon as the new words start getting inside it, right?
Yes.
Such as kamra. He said kamra is not a Hindi word. He said it's been derived from the Italian word, right? From the Italian language.
Yeah.
So kamara is not Hindi, right? So likewise, the food. So in India, from ancient India, if you look at the food, what we eat in India today, it was not there before the British came. It was not there, before the Mughal era started. Right? So a lot
even
of
the colonization changed our food habits.
Yes, food habits.
Chai or biscuit, mujhe lagta.
That's true.
Even though chai, what I said, came a long time back in a Maharaja's court. He was the first one who made this hot drink. That in Assam or something.
Right.
That's what I.
Yeah, the first tea leaf was grown or cultivated. In Assam, or it by itself accidentally grew.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's how it happened.
So that is the amazing part of food.
Yeah, that's true.
And we now talking about crossing cultures and everything. We are living here in the hub of different immigrants. So tell me, you worked in different restaurants here, and I feel lucky. You can get easily a Thai food, Chinese food, Ethiopian, Nepalese. So many, Italian is so common, and now we see, because of the influx of computer engineers here, especially here, we have all kinds of Indian restaurants now, from affluent to the vada pav and chaat ka, and everything. So we have a lot of choices. So tell me about your thoughts about the culture, food culture here, and how has been your experience in this field as a chef?
So when I started, and in the US, when I came, I was a lot surprised by seeing that these small time restaurants, which I would not like to name, but I would just like to go by the references, right? Okay. So they actually do not serve Indian food. They pretend to be serving Indian food, right? But as we know Indian food, right? As I come from as I come from that very community where food is a religion, right? Yes. People here, right, in small time restaurants, they add a lot of color, right? They don't go by the right combination of spices, and in a lot of restaurants, again, I would not like to name, but they have Americanized the Indian food, right?
Doesn't it make good business sense, because they want to maybe now
not in a great way, but not in a great way. I always feel that smaller is less is more.
Yes.
So lesser your menu is, you will be able, right, to concentrate a lot more on your dishes, on your recipes. But I think that a lot of so-called Indian restaurant, I find them to be I find their menu to be too wannabe-ish, right? They would like to over aspire, right? They would like to for that example, right, I cannot eat a chili chicken or a chicken tikka masala sitting in a South Indian restaurant. Right, I would surely not.
Yes.
I think that if South Indian restaurants stick to what is the best from the South India, right, or for that matter what is the best from Tamil Nadu, or like for that matter, I really would like to quote a very new online kitchen by the they have it's being started by couple of techies, and the name of the online kitchen is Baduta. So these Baduta.
Okay.
And because we share the same kitchen, right? Because I operate a food truck, and they just do the online kitchen, that too only limiting to Saturdays, right?
Oh, yeah. So very exclusive.
Yeah. So they only do 5 things. I think that everyone, right, I mean, if you know, if let's say you come from Himachal, right, and you wholeheartedly serve 5 things which are originally from Himachal, I think that you will get your way. I mean, you'll get through.
Yeah.
Rather than, you know, I mean, serving, you know, chili chicken and mushroom pakoda and butter chicken, I think it doesn't make sense to me.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't make sense to me. I and you know, I tasted their food. I mean, you'd be surprised that these 3 techies, they only make food. And you know what I'm more surprised and impressed with, that they don't make small portions. They make food in bulk.
Yeah.
They make food
because
in bulk.
online anybody can order, right?
So I'm very surprised.
Oh, okay.
I'm very surprised.
See, that's where you know, if the passion lies. So I'm sure they're doing it after their work, or they left their job and now they're doing this or whatever. You know, it's very important. I feel whoever has a restaurant, you know, to just believe in where
True.
they come from.
True.
And you know, reflect their regionalism and their you know, growing up days.
Right.
Like a lot of Michelin star chefs restaurants are there, and even though it's, you know, he does fusion or whatever, but he keeps the essence from where he comes from.
That's true.
Which is
That's
also
very
fine.
important.
Which
That's
I
very
feel
important.
is fine.
Yeah.
And obviously you have to present it in different ways, because now you're catering to a different kind of people. They could be, you know, like I'm saying, they won't be only Indians. People like me would love a tandoori chicken, which I ate it, you know, 25 years back.
Right.
But here they're catering to all kinds who might find Indian food that looks good, also appetizing.
Right.
So I think it's also the
That's
market.
very important. That's very important.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that
I've seen your presentation also.
We being Indian, Indian, we know very less about the Indian food itself.
Yes.
We know very less about Indian food itself, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if we talk about the cuisine, I mean, I think that it'll become an endless talk.
I know, that's why my time bhi dekh rahi hu. That will be another show. But like you gave a very honest answer about what you feel about today's restaurants and how they work. But can you give us, you know, 4-5 elements that people should look into while choosing a restaurant, and you know, what basically they should look into when they go for a restaurant? Because like we said, there's a lot of fusion food now, especially in Indian restaurants. So kya dekhna chahiye?
So you know, I mean, it's a very valid question. I must say that it's a $1 million question for me, right? I mean, which I would love to answer.
Okay.
So I think first of all, when, you know, let's say for a discerning Indian food customer, right? If he or she, you know, would like to dine in an Indian restaurant, first of all, we must know, and we should know that Indian food is a very labor-intensive food,
very
right?
So.
Unlike you know, I mean, Chinese food, or I don't like to, you know, I mean,
belittle any,
be derogatory, you know, about the other cuisines, but you know, I mean, the Chinese food, I mean, it's not very labor-intensive. I mean, when it gets tossed in a wok, right? But wherein Indian food is very labor intensive. I mean, so that's first thing, right? That you know, I mean, if Indian food is selling, you know, let's say an appetizer for a couple of dollars more than, you know, I mean, the other restaurant, it deserves that. First of all, it deserves that.
Okay.
Number one. Number two, I personally, you know, I do not like to dine in an Indian restaurant where the first thing or the second or the third thing says samosas, because 90% of the Indian restaurants in the whole of US who serve samosas, it's all frozen.
Yeah.
It's all frozen, right? So, you know, I mean, I tried to keep samosas on my food truck, but I removed that because, you know, I mean, once a customer came and he said, oh, you know, I mean, I have same samosas at $1 at some shop. I mean, the effort doesn't go into making, you know, just frying a samosa, frozen samosa, store-bought samosa. So that's the second thing. And third thing, I think that what I believe, that I very strongly believe that, you know, food color should not be added into food. It should have its own natural color appearance, right? And food should be simple, tasty, and, you know, the menu should be no-brainer.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think that's what I wanted to hear, because that's what I felt.
Yeah.
Exactly, because या तो बहुत color डाल देंगे in anything, and sometimes the curries almost taste the same.
Yeah, but robust, orange color.
Orange color. मैंने कहा ये सब कुछ ही orange है. क्या ये सब मखानी is orange?
That's true. That's
true. So yeah, I've been here for 30 years, and I really crave for some great North Indian, food.
Right.
Yeah, some are great places, I'll say, but still far and few. And एक चीज जो मुझे अच्छी नहीं अभी तक मिली है वो चाय. And we Indians and chai, is like
I think that
in our blood.
We have been making it for 2 decades.
Yeah, so all restaurants, like you're saying,
Sorry,
samosa.
2 centuries.
2 centuries, exactly.
Sorry,
yeah, more than that. So every restaurant, like you're saying, third thing is a samosa. वो चाय भी होती है, but chai is such a
what is the
deal
problem?
breaker.
That to make it very good, they sometimes become over aspirational. उसमें अदरक भी डाल देंगे, उसमें you put whatever you want, but someone who knows that how to strike the balance between these spices, he or she would be able, right, to get it just right.
Very true. And sometimes it's pre-made and it's there for a long time, but I think our time is so short, but I want to talk to you about your new venture, Rapchick Rooster.
Right.
Love to know about it, where people can find you. And I have to say, he's just started. He has, whatever menu he has right now, he is increasing that. It is amazing. So
I would put it this way that, I may not increase my menu, but I will keep changing it, right, based on the popularity, based on seasonality, because I like to work more on the seasonal ingredient as well as more sustainable ingredients. So I think that's the
very true.
That's the key, right? Of the and the zest of my menu, especially going to be. And we are in Sunnyvale, and on Mary and El Camino, and we are very next to the Ike Sandwich, which is the address is 1255 West El Camino Real.
Okay.
And you may not find a many options, but because as I say that less is more, right? And making those 10 things on my menu, it takes me too much of effort, right? It's very laborious and labor intensive. Yeah.
And we're talking right now, and I know it's an interview format, but whenever I've talked to you, I've really felt your passion for the work you're doing.
Right.
You really, and that's why we've come a long way from working in the best of restaurants to working as chef here. But there was some sort of unsatisfaction, I'll say, that was in you. And I think Rapchick Rooster, you wanted to be on your own, make your decisions, and bring the best food possible.
That's true.
That's what I felt.
That's
and when you told me about, I was so happy for you. And I wish you the very best,
Thank you
Jiten.
so much. Thank you
and
so
I
much.
urge everybody to at least try. I think you are open Wednesdays to Sundays.
We are right now open from Wednesday through Sundays.
What time?
From 5 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah, but soon we are going to start our brunches as well.
Okay, weekend brunches
on the
probably.
weekend brunches on Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
Where we will be offering the fresh kebabs, so people can come, can dine, can have fresh kebabs.
Yes.
I'll be making it on tandoor because our tandoor is there.
So,
yeah.
Okay. And so do check out Rapchick Rooster online also. You're on Instagram, Facebook, and you have a website also?
We have a website also.
Okay, so rapchickrooster.com.
So
do check out the menu, and hope you got something out of this talk, and you know where to go now and what to look when you choose a restaurant. So it was lovely talking to you, Jiten. All the best, and wish you the best.
Thank you so much.
Okay, bye for now, and happy Christmas and a happy New Year, because it is the end of the year, and hope to see you next year on Off the Cuff with Namrita on Bolly 92.3 FM. Bye bye.
Shosha is a creative Indian restaurant located in the heart of Silicon Valley. Shosha is a woman-owned business that serves traditional Indian flavors assimilated with molecular gastronomy techniques. The best Indian bar with happy hours in the Bay Area serves handcrafted drinks inspired by flavors from India with modern craft cocktails that are presented in unique ways. Shosha is a modern take on traditional Indian cuisine. We specialize in corporate luncheon, anniversary celebrations, birthday parties, and catering. Do check us out for a memorable modern Indian dining experience. Shosha is located at 141 South Murphy Avenue in Sunnyvale, California.
Motto is Atiti Devo Bhava. That means guest is like God, and that is how we treat all our guests. So please come and check us out. Thank you.